Here we go. We're gonna do some perfumery. I hope you guys enjoy. I don't know if this gets recorded or if anyone's even gonna watch. I've got like 12K subs now, so I don't know. Who knows? Maybe some people will watch it. Okay. I don't even know if I can see comments or anything. Just let me know if you guys can even hear me or I literally don't even know. Okay. I don't see anyone's on, but that's fine. I'm just gonna do my thing here, and I'll check every once in a while. I'll see if anybody's even watching. See if I need to be talking. Okay. So what I'm doing today is I'm gonna be making some fragrances, making a big batch of this fragrance. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's my first time doing it. So, oh, nice! I got somebody to join. We got one viewer right now. You're gonna watch a live perfumery tutorial. This is gonna be, I guess it's just you and me, boss. So we'll see how it goes. I can't see any like comments or anything, or maybe I can, but I'll give it a second. Anyway, we're making this freshwater accord. Oh, two people, nice. There's three of us now. So I'm making this freshwater accord to create this whole big fragrance that it's pretty much based off of. So first things first, if I'm gonna make a big batch, if I'm gonna make 500 milliliters of this fragrance called it's called Lush. It's based off of this freshwater accord and then some pineapple and hawthorn and a couple other things. But I don't have a whole lot of it, and I scaled up my recipe 70x, and it kind of requires a good amount of it, at least like 4 or 5 grams, and I just know right off the bat this is not going to be 4 or 5 grams. So welcome. Nice, we got a third person join. Nice. Okay, so there's four of us now. But anyway, I'll just jump into it, and wherever people kind of pick up, if you're watching, kind of enjoy the process. But every once in a while, I'll let y'all know again what I'm doing in case you just joined. So we got to make this accord, and I have all the ingredients here, and I'm just going to 10x it so I can make a bunch of it, just in case I want to use this freshwater accord for anything else in the future. And so basically the ingredients, and I'll be completely transparent with you guys because I don't care, I'll tell you whatever. So the ingredients I'm using are Ultra Zur. Super powerful stuff, guys. So be careful with the Ultra Zur. It smells like a fresh water, but also almost chlorine-y. I don't even know how to explain it. And then Adoxal, another very powerful one. So usually you're gonna want to dilute both of these down pretty hardcore. But just because we're making it in bulk, I'm gonna use 100%. And the Adoxal, it smells like fresh linens. But if you get too close, if your nose gets too close to it, it's gonna smell like burning plastic almost, because it's very powerful. So you could blast the heck out of your nose pretty quickly if you don't dilute this Adoxal. We're also gonna use terpineol alpha, which is one of the terpenes. So there's alpha terpenine. There's a bunch of terpenes. But anyway, we're using terpineol alpha. Gives it sort of a fresh. If I want to smell like fresh water, to me that's like mountain water. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get a little bit of the terpenes in there. Something called Aquaflora, another great floral, but very light aquatic note. It almost has, again, kind of that fresh linens, sort of a smell that we all know and love from, the Bounce or whatever kind of dryer sheets you use. Another one, Octanol, very powerful. So a lot of these are going to be strong ingredients, and then it's just going to go into this freshwater accord so we can make the rest of the blend once I finish that. So first things first, we'll do that. Aquamate, another great, kind of just general aquatic one. This one kind of has an apple nuance to it, so a little bit fruity. Yeah, welcome to everyone else that's just joined. And then yeah, dihydroianone beta. It's one of the ionones, so it's gonna be kind of like a fine violet note, but just kind of something to give it a little bit of oomph in the background there. So yeah, so let's do that first. I have my 1 milliliter plastic pipettes. I just picked these up on Amazon. You can get like 300 at a time for like $6. So yeah, let's 10x this, and we'll start with the dihydroianone beta. As you can see, I'm using my handy dandy scale. It's just the one I always tag in all my videos, but I'm gonna use this small scale so we can make this stuff. And then later, when we make our whole huge batch, like big size batch, then I'm gonna use my bigger scale. It's just not as accurate. Oh, hey, how's it going, Pigeonator? I can see the comments. Okay, I didn't know if I could see the comments in the stream. What's going on, man? Yeah, so welcome. We're just gonna start here. I'll start off, dihydroianone beta. And this is a Givaudan product, but these I actually pick up from the Perfumer's Apprentice, most of them. They've got a great website, and it's based in Scotts Valley, California, so it actually comes pretty quick because I'm in Portland now. My girlfriend and I moved to Portland. So John Doe, is that your actual name? There's a John Doe said hi. Hey, how's it going, man? All right, so we'll tear out our scale here, and I'm just using a 50 milliliter beaker, glass beaker, so nothing crazy. So recipe that I had previously made, my accord, it calls for 140, but we're going to 10 times that. So we're going to go 1,400 milligrams here. So we'll just, drop-wise, we'll just drop that out. And almost there. One more drop. As a general rule, and this is just kind of something you'll pick up over time if you get into perfumery. Oh, how long have I been in Portland? Yeah, we moved down here because I used to be in Seattle. I don't know if you guys saw my old videos. I used to be in Seattle, but we moved down, what was it, February? I'm a home health physical therapist, so I switched to home health. I was doing orthopedics before, and so I got a gig down here, and it's just closer to my girlfriend's family and everything. What perfume do you want to produce? Yeah, so if you just joined, how's it going, Tal? We're making a fragrance, actually one of mine, that soon hopefully will come into production. I don't know if you can see that. I already have the pre-made custom sample vials. It'll go in the sample kit. It's called Lush. So it's going to be based off of this like fresh water and pineapple and kind of this like hawthorn mimosa floral thing. It's pretty unisex, but originally it was a gift from my little brother. Oh, speaking of apple-eyed, what percent does it begin to smell thick and heavy? Honestly, that's a good question. I can't give you a percent number just because, it depends what other stuff you have in there. So if everything else is pretty transparent, then, it's not a big deal. You can get away with a lot more. It hasn't been an issue, at least. Because you'll see later on in this recipe, there's some other really powerful stuff where it's like that becomes, you're going to smell that way before. Okay, we got a lot of questions. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hey, Jaron, what was your first fragrance? Dude, it's crazy. My first fragrance, here, I'll show you guys. This is some of mine that I use for my Decant website. My first one, Davidoff Cool Water. Let's go. Great fragrance. And you know what's so funny? And I always say this in the videos where I hype it up. Same guy that made Green Irish Tweed. That's why they smell so similar. Literally same perfumer. Fraction of the cost. I love this fragrance. Great for spring and summer. I'm a big Davidoff Cool Water guy. And I have a bunch of the flankers, and I just don't feel like they're as good. Okay, Elar Khan, new to the channel. Hold on, I gotta make sure I'm keeping up with the actual perfumery here too, guys. Been interested in making fragrance for some time. Can you recommend a good starter kit? Yeah, there's a good starter kit on Perfumer's Apprentice has one. If you're in the UK, Pell Wall, Pellwall. Those are both good starter kits. There's a couple decent starter kits out there, but should make sure you get at least like 50 ingredients, and you can do a lot with that. Okay, so here, let me before I answer any more questions, I'm gonna add some more stuff to this. So next we have Floralizone. Floralizone is interesting because when you store it, sometimes it'll like build up pressure. So I keep it in a bag inside another bag so that it doesn't like mess with anything else. And I know that's sort of weird. Most of the other ones I don't have to like handle carefully or anything like that, but that's how I have my Floralizone. I know it's weird, but it is what it is. See, there's even some pressure there. And really, I probably just need to get a new container of it, but it does build up pressure over time. So, yeah, we're going, Floralizone was 300, so we're gonna do 3,000. So 3 grams. And again, we're just taking one of our pipettes. I have the 1 milliliter ones and then the 5 milliliter ones. And then I'm just adding it in just as I would. So we'll tear it out. And then we're gonna add 3 grams. It's kind of a lot. Floralizone, it's very, yeah, I mean, as the name sounds, it's ozonic, but it also has a slight like airy floralness to it. It's not like a feminine ingredient or anything like that. It's just a powerful ozonic floralizer. It kind of gives this an aquatic vibe to whatever you add it to. But it is pretty powerful, so you don't want to let it take over your whole thing. You know what I mean? John Doe says solid. Yeah, solid. What was your guys' first fragrances? Any good ones out there? Any good firsts? Let's see. What would you add to a dupe oil to help with projection and longevity? So that's a good question. That's a question I get a lot of the time. And, technically, well, people will say, oh, there's nothing you can add to a fragrance that's going to be neutral. Like a fixative that's totally neutral, doesn't have a smell of its own, but it makes it last a little bit longer. And it's not true. There are a couple. I would look into something called Glucam P20. So GLUCAM P-20. Glucam P20, completely neutral. It can add a little bit of stability to your fragrance, especially the top notes if they're citrusy and they kind of just go away pretty quickly. If you add a little bit of that in there, just a small amount, no more than like 1%, then it can help out with that and kind of stabilize it. Usually I just adjust my formula because I don't like using glucam, but you could do that. Yeah, that's just one of those things, one of those extra additives to the end thing. Ted Lapidus. Oh my gosh, everybody says Ted Lapidus. I've seen that one, and I think I had it in my fragrance net in my cart for a while. I don't know why I still haven't picked it up. I have heard of that one. Okay, wait. I'm missing some of these. Enjoying the content. Yeah. So just one thing to remember with any sort of fixatives though, guys, is when you add a fixative, yes, it's going to last longer, but you're also probably going to sacrifice your projection, if that makes sense. It's like you can't get both, right? You can have it last super long and stick to your skin, but then it's not going to leap off of your skin and smell. Some of the materials, they last long and they're strong, but that's just based on the materials. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll try out the Ted Lapidus though, Jerron. Okay, Blaine says, on a lark, I mixed some ISOE Super at 20%, sprayed some on before cutting grass. Didn't smell strong when I applied, but crossed my path and got that great pencil shaving scent. Yes, ISOE Super. Look, I got a huge container of it, man. Good stuff, huh? And what a great ingredient. It's one of those magic ingredients. Kind of like a booster molecule, but it's kind of there, but it's kind of not. Oh man, yeah, I love ISOE Super. What type of perfume base do you use? Yeah, all of mine are ethanol based, so alcohol based, just like what you would see, back here. I don't do a lot of the oil based ones. Yeah, that's just, I do the old, the regular old spray atomizers. Yeah, first fragrance, Drakkar Noir. Yeah, that's a good one. I got it in here somewhere too. I don't know where it is, but yeah, hell yeah. That's a real manly fragrance. That's awesome. Okay, so we added that. Here, let's go back to what we were doing. Uh-oh, I touched something, didn't I? Yeah, we'll tear it out and then let's add this Aquamate. Okay, so Aquamate, boom, right here. We're going to be adding 2 grams, so 2,000 milligrams. Because again, remember guys, we're kind of scaling this up. If we're going to fill this big bad boy with, with perfume oil at the end of this, then we're going to need a lot of this Accord. I'm just going to make a bunch of it. Okay. Ooh, this will be just enough. I might have to order some more. This will be on the shopping list for sure. Yeah. Aquamate. Okay. By the skin of my teeth. Yeah. Okay. So we got Aquamate. Boom. That's in. And these, these recyclable, or these pipettes, I just toss them after, unfortunately. It is that way. 17 people, nice. We got some people in here. I love ISOE Super and Hedione. Yeah. Also Timber Silk. Yeah, totally. Just like ISOE Super, but yeah, a little more powerful. 100%. Yeah, we're going to be using Hedione in this one as well. Guys, if you're new to perfumery or you're thinking about getting into it, just make sure that your kit has, and most of them will, ISOE Super and Hedione, 2 of the most important ingredients. Gene Essence Artisan says, hello, hey, how's it going? Hello. I could stand a straight ISOE Super fragrance. Yeah, seriously. You know what? There's actually, there's a fragrance, it's called, I think it's either molecule number 1 or molecule number 2, that's literally just ISOE Super. They have a couple of them. Check them out, man. They're, yeah, there's a couple of them, but I forget which number it is, but they're by the eccentric molecules, or eccentric, maybe it's eccentric molecules number 1. Yeah, that's, or number 2, yeah. Lattafa lover here. Yeah, I love Lattafa too. I'm a big fan of that. That's a good brand. They do a lot of good clones. What are you making? Yeah, so what I was telling them earlier is I'm making a fragrance just for my website. And it's going to be kind of pineapple-y, and I'm making the freshwater Accord that goes into it. So this nice fresh water. It's going to be kind of a spring summer fragrance, but it also has some florals in it. And there's a couple little tricks up my sleeve that I'm adding. So one of the ingredients that's a kind of a trick up my sleeve is going to be, oh, someone answered the question. Yeah, John, thank you, John. Molecule 1 is ISOE, yeah. This ingredient is called paradissamide. Paradissamide is really, really great. I mean, it smells like just like a tropical guava type smell, and it's not guavanate, which is another one, but this is kind of like a passion fruit type, guava-y, passion fruity type fragrance. How long have you been making fragrances for? It's got to be like 7 years now, maybe something like that. It's been a long time, but I haven't been doing it as much lately, so I got to get back on the bandwagon here. Okay, so we added that. Now we need terpineal alpha. Okay. So it's one of those terpenes, right? It's gonna smell like kind of like pine trees, you know? This one is a little bit lighter and a little bit less like a cleaning agent. Alpha terpenine smells a lot more like pine sol, that kind of a thing. There's a lot of these terpenes, though, and they're all based off of the kind of the pine smell. Okay, so we're adding 600 because it's boosted up. So we'll add 600 milligrams of this. And again, you go just 1 drop at a time. Each drop will weigh about 20 milligrams. And that's give or take. I mean, it depends on the, obviously, like some of them are thick liquids, you know, and a drop is going to weigh more, like 30 milligrams. But, you know. Okay, what else? Yeah, Molecule 1. Yeah. I love pineapple notes. Yeah, seriously. There's some good pineapple fragrances out there, too. I mean, there's some pretty solid ones. Have you ever used Melanol? Yeah, you know, I've used Melanol. I always like to make it like maybe 10% before I use it, just because it's pretty strong, huh? It's strong shit, but I do like Melanol. I do like Melanol. Another kind of a melon one that's a little more tame. I like to use Calone 10%. And this is one of the ones that was famously used in Acqua di Gio, guys. So if you remember, here, let me pull it out. Yeah, back in the day, Acqua di Gio, the OG, that was using a good amount of that Calone, you know. Alberto Morillas made that back in the day. This used to be like the best-selling fragrance of all time. I think Sauvage took that though. I think now Sauvage is the number one. It's pineapple, ylang, ethyl vanilla, and add fillers. Ooh, that sounds great. Yeah, I would love to see that. What fragrance oil brand do you use? Hey, how's it going? Abdul Rahman. Actually, brother, I don't use pre-made oils. I know some people do, that's totally up to you. But I like to use just the raw ingredients, the Aromachemicals, and then I make my own fragrance oils, like kind of like what I'm doing right now. And they're just not pre-made, you know what I mean? So instead of a sandalwood oil, I'll use like a mixture of Javanol and Isoe Super and, you know, whatever. And then I'll do that. Do you have real oud oil? I have a little bit. But to be honest with you, Raheem, and that's a great question, man. Yeah. For me, for my purposes, I usually use, I think it's the Oud Synth by Jivco. It's a synthetic oud that smells just like the real thing, or pretty darn similar, but it's a lot cheaper. So I do actually have a small sample of the real deal, just because I was like, I gotta smell what oud smells like. Because like everyone had set up, you know, they're like, oh my God, oud, real oud is super expensive. And it smells pretty good, but yeah, I think it smells similar enough to the Oud Synth by Firmenich, or I know Jivco has one too. It's like a black agar Jivco. Is pretty close too. So yeah, ether extrait or greenly. Oud oil is very expensive. Yeah, seriously, it's pricey. So I was able to get my hands on a sample of it, but not a whole lot. Yeah, Calone, yeah, Davidoff Cool Water, totally. Yeah, that's another one. The dihydromercenol and then Calone, for sure. Yeah, Jewel. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, anybody that's new, welcome. Okay, so here, let me add another ingredient to this whole thing before I get back to answering any questions. Okay, octanol. So octanol is also alcohol C8, so just the same thing. And this is sharp, man. This is like, again, it has sort of that fresh linen smell, but like it almost smells vinegary if you smell it too closely, you know? It's pretty powerful. So I'm only using 200 milligrams for this sized up thing. I only used one drop in the original recipe, so you know, for the scaled up thing, I'm not using a whole lot because it's pretty powerful. But again, I want it to have that almost that fresh linen sort of a smell, because to smell like fresh water, like what does fresh water even smell like? So I figured it smells like clean linens and maybe like some pine trees that are nearby, that kind of a thing. Oh, hey, how's it going, Blaine? Dude, you're the second person to tell me about Bulgari Eau de Vert. Yo, okay. Who was it that was telling me Eau de Vert? It was one of you guys who was telling me check out Eau de Vert. So I have it in one of the many websites I use to buy fragrances. I have it in one of my my shopping carts, or at least a sample of it. That's an old school one, isn't it? Bulgari Eau de Vert. I think it's old. I forget. Yeah, totally agree, John. Yeah, definitely change everything, huh? Okay, so here, let me tear this out again. And then, yeah, Florhydrol. Let's use some Florhydrol in here. Where did it go? Aquaflora. Oh, was this the one that I decided I was going to take out? Fluorohydrol. Yeah. This was the one I decided I was going to take out, actually. So I'm not going to use fluorohydrol in here anymore. One of the weird things is like, so this fragrance, this isn't too bad. This has like maybe 40 ingredients or so in it. Part of like mass producing them, or not mass, you know me, I'm making small amounts, but making them in bigger batches is like, you don't want to sacrifice the recipe, but also if you can do any sort of simplifications, or you can take out redundant ingredients that don't actually add to it anyways, then you can create something that's easier to make in bulk. But I just got to make sure that it doesn't sacrifice anything from the smell of it, right? Because quality first, obviously. But yeah, so it's kind of that balance. That was the only ingredient I think that I'm actually taking out from this recipe when I scale up. Just because I wasn't really smelling it a whole lot. Yeah. Okay, so let's use the Adoxal then. Oh, here we go. How many fragrances do you have total, John? Says, you know what? This right here is maybe 300 or 200 or 300, but I have another box in my walk-in closet where I keep all my like business stuff. And it's got to have another like 200 or so, I think, in it. Yeah, so my girlfriend would kill me if I had another, if I added another shelf. So this is the most I'm allowed to have before the boss gets mad. You know what I mean? But yeah. Okay, let's see. Cashmeran considered a musk? Yeah, cashmeran is a great musk. I have some of it laying around here somewhere. But yeah, let's see. Check out Dior Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's a great one. You know, I actually kind of made a bit of a clone on that. Because that gasoline note, it comes from this, well, there's a couple of ingredients that you could use, but one of them is called methyl octane carbonate, and that's the only reason I ever even got that one. I think that's one of the ones that you can't use as much of anymore. But yeah, Dior Fahrenheit, that's a pretty sick one, huh? Only 6 likes. Come on, people. Yeah, come on, guys. Let's like it up. Yeah, like and subscribe or whatever. That's awesome. I'm surprised people are even watching. That's really cool. I like that you guys showed up for this. That's cool. My perfume alcohol is really strong. Do you know why that would be? Hey, that's a good question, Raheem. By strong, do you mean it has like a smell to it? Because it really shouldn't if you get the right stuff. So here's some. This is from Sun Pure Botanicals, pure and natural. But really what you're looking for, and seriously, yeah, if the supplier that I used to have, I had to can the whole thing because it had a bit of a tinge of a like fermentation smell to it. So you got to make sure you're getting. It's called SB. Here, let me pull it up. Technically, there's a code. There's a code. Perfumers alcohol. Let me reach over here. SB. It's like, what's it called? SDA 40B. SDA 40B. So look for that. And that will be the pure stuff that has no smell to it itself. It should completely be like odorless. Completely odorless. You won't smell anything at all. And that's how you know you're getting good perfumer's alcohol. Because if it has some sort of a smell to it, then it's going to go in your fragrance. So great question. Dude, I've had that same problem before and I had to can like a whole jug of it because I switched suppliers. So you got good prices at your decant store. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I try to. I mean, look at me, dude. I've got all these anyway, and I was like, I'm never gonna spray them all. You know, like I'm never gonna wear every single bottle, all of it. So you know, one, it recoups the cost, and two, you guys get to watch the video, and if you want to buy a little sample, you know, then you can. So yeah. I have AAG, yeah, allyl amyl glycolate, but it's so strong, it takes over a formulation. I really need to do a low concentration, like 1%. Dude, I agree. So here's I'm using it, because I told you guys it's a pineapple fragrance we're making today. Here's my AAG, wow, that looks terrible, that I have at like 10%. I have a 1% somewhere, and then here's the 100%, allyl amyl glycolate. This is one of the ingredients that's key in Creed Aventus. for making the pineapple note, which is funny because I recently I put together a bunch of like formulas that I've just found online from GCMSs and different sources, and most of them didn't actually have that, which is crazy. They were using something else for the pineapple note. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there's AAG in the real deal in Creativentus. Yeah, 1% for sure. I'm with you. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, SDA 40B, exactly, Blaine. Yeah, what Blaine said. SDA 40B, that's what you guys got to look for. Okay, let's add another ingredient in here. So we're going to do this adoxal, right? Adoxal, real strong stuff. So 20 at 50%, we'll 10x that, that's going to be 200, but this is 100% that we're using, so it's just going to be 100 milligrams, right? We always go by weight, right? So we'll measure out 100 megs, which should be around 5 drops-ish. Yeah, there we go. Just because it's usually around 20 milligrams per, per what you call it, per drop. What supplier do you use for your SDA 40B from again? I missed it, sorry. Oh, no problem, man. Yeah, here, I'll pull it up. It's so funny, like there's a couple, there's a supplier in Canada that sells it, even with shipping to the US, and it's still pretty cheap. But this one I just got off the eBay, dude. This is from Sun Pure Botanicals on eBay. Pure and natural perfume alcohol. Yeah, Sun Pure Botanicals. So Sun Pure Botanicals, I got, what I did is I got a small container just to be sure, because I was sketched out. Because the supplier I was using for the longest time, what was it? It was some like just generic chemical company. They were good until they weren't. And so I was sketched out. So I bought a bunch of smaller containers from different companies, and this one was great, completely odorless, no problem. So I was like, okay, I'll start getting jugs from them. I miss Armani Mania for Men, discontinued. I never actually got to smell that one. What was that one like? I keep trying to cheap out on a great fun summer fragrance, but my nose keeps going back to Virgin Island water. Any suggestions for that type fragrance? What's crazy is, like, the only two Creed fragrances that I really love are Aventus and Green Hours Tweed. I don't know why I don't really like Virgin Island water for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, does anyone else in the comments know of a good like replacement for Virgin Island water? I don't really know. Oh yeah, you use some real oud. Yeah, it's crazy, huh? That real oud is like, once you smell it, it didn't smell like what I thought it was gonna smell like. I guess because like all the fragrances that we smell, that you and I smell, like they're not using the real stuff, and half of the time they're not even using like a replacer, like the oud synth I was talking about. They're just using like wood notes, and they're like, this is oud, this is this is oud right here. This is pure oud. Anyway, okay, so yeah, so we added the adoxal. Let's use our calone, right? Good old calone. So calone, for you guys, for those of you who don't know, or if you haven't watched some of my videos where I talk about calone, we'll measure it out right now. Calone was originally, it was developed for food use, because it gives like a fresh watermelon sort of a smell and taste. Yeah, it smells like melon. It smells so good. Oh my God, it's like a watermelon-y melon, a very aquatic note there, and it's used in like things like cool water, aqua di gio, stuff like that. So we're gonna add, and this is a 10% dilution because it is a powder usually, 120, so 1200. So we're gonna add 1.2 grams. I would really recommend getting a milligram scale that's accurate down to 0.001 at least. Because when you're doing these drops, you know what I mean? It's like, you gotta be pretty exact. There we go. Okay, cool. What else? Yeah, Armani Mania. I don't know what Armani Mania used to smell like though. Do you ever use Eden Botanicals? Yeah, you know what? That's awesome. Yeah. Do you ever use Eden Botanicals? In general, the scent differences between traditional distilled and CO2 extraction. You know what? It's so funny. The only CO2 extract that I have is one of the ginger CO2 extracts. Because I was on this weird kick of like getting the right ginger. I was trying to recreate like a Bleu de Chanel type thing, and I was like, where's the ginger? Um, but I use Eden Botanicals for sure. Yeah, like when I first started, I was doing all the sketchy stuff, like using Amazon, and like, dude, have you seen on Amazon like so many of those essential oils are like straight up fake, like literally fake. It would be like this much sandalwood essential oil, and they're like, yeah, this is real sandalwood. And I'm like, no, man, that's like $300, and they're selling it for like $7. So there's like just blatantly fake stuff. I think because Amazon they don't care. I don't know. Maybe they can't crack down. Does anyone know like why? All the essential oils. So I don't mess with it anymore on Amazon. But yeah, I do eat in botanicals if I get naturals for sure. Um, yeah, I'd really like to see you make something a bit Middle Eastern style fragrances. There is a sauvage of the Middle East called Gisa Imperial Valley. Let me put that in so I don't forget. Gisa Imperial Valley. See, I like the Middle Eastern style fragrances. I like that stuff. Oh, here we go. Ooh, great looking bottle there. I pulled it up on Fragrantica. I'll look into that one. The most kind of Middle Eastern style one I think is I did a really good. I thought it was really good. A very powerful oud and rose. It was kind of like a red rose, not more of a pink rose. It was like a red rose with oud and some spices in there. It had some nutmeg and cinnamon and some like spiciness to it. I thought it was really good. But I didn't sell it or anything. It was just kind of for my own thing. Yeah, I'll look into more of those and review some more of those or make some more of those. Um, okay, hold on. Let's move on, guys. Ultra Zur. Okay, Ultra Zur. Again, very, very powerful ozonic fragrance note here. Very powerful muguet or muguet. How do you say that? Muguet. It almost smells like, yeah. It's like a very, very powerful lily of the valley type fresh, almost aldehydic, almost soapy ingredient. So yeah, so we're just using 200 of that. So we're gonna drop some of that in. We'll go 200. Welcome to everybody who just joined. Okay, there we go. Cool. And then I just have like a little trash bin underneath my desk if that's why you guys are like, why is he dropping down there? Okay, cool. So that should be good. That should be it for the freshwater accord. I made a decent amount. I made about 10 milliliters, which is not as much as I would have liked. But it's one of those things. You might really like Bulgari Tiger if you like ginger fragrances. Ooh, you know what? So I don't have Bulgari Tiger, but I've smelled it. And you know what I do have? I have Afnan Tarathi Blue, which apparently is a clone. It's pretty close, I think. I got a sample from Macy's or something like that from Bulgari Tiger. I do like it. So thank you for the recommendation. I should get the real deal. So maybe one of these days I'll get the real deal. But I do have Tarathi Blue at least, which is pretty good. This thing falls over all the time though, huh? Anyway, yeah, Afnan Tarathi Blue. That's the one I have. I don't have the OG Bulgari Tiger though. I should check that out. Okay, so we'll mix this guy up, and then we'll toss it in this our vial here. This should at least be enough for my purposes of making about 500 milliliters worth of this Lush fragrance. So we'll see. I know I've been telling my subs, I've been telling you guys, oh, I'm gonna launch another fragrance. Oh, don't worry, for like 6 months now, and I haven't done it yet. The recipe's been there. I've been busy, and I don't know, life gets in the way, right? So I will be launching it soon. I promise. I have all the labels. I have all the bottles. I have literally everything. So now I'm just trying to batch it, and then I have 2 other fragrances that I'm trying to release at the same time, actually. and they're kind of a duology type thing, you know. It's going to be called Hero Eau de Parfum and Villain Extrait de Parfum. And they're, I mean, like the name would say, they're pretty opposite of each other. One of them is sort of a mass appealing, nice hazelnut, warm fragrance. Think Stronger With You, but more like hazelnut, and like very woody, warm, maybe like a fall winter fragrance. More masculine, but it has some sweetness to it, so a little bit more unisex. And then the other one is Villain Extrait de Parfum, and that one's kind of darker and smokier, and it has this labdanum, this resinousness to it. That one, they're both, I like them both, but yeah, that one gets me a lot of people seem to really like the Villain Extrait de Parfum one. It's very strong. It has some saffronol in it, so it has a saffron note in there, in with all this labdanum and smoke and birch tar. I'm using real rectified birch tar in it, which I was really excited to work with. So it's very smoky and evil, but it dries down into something actually really sweet and nice and like kind of villainark, you know, like it turns into a sweeter resinous, you know, like a labdanum type fragrance. So yeah, love the saffron, essential oil, and cardamom. Birch tar, yeah, super smoky, right? Dude, I'm using birch tar, rectified birch tar, and then why can't I think of the other ingredient that was super smoky that I'm using in it? Anyway, so I'm using some naturals in there too, which I think is cool. What's in the bigger can? Looks like Perfumer's Apprentice. Yeah, I use PA. Yeah, I use Perfumer's Apprentice for everything. This is my ISO-E Super, dude. Yeah, Mr. Graves. Yeah, this is ISO-E Super. I have a huge one of this, and then somewhere around here I have another huge Hedion, just because it's like, I mean, I use it so much, you know, and I have my website, so I have to make like big batches of stuff. So yeah, it's ISO-E Super. Good eye though on the can. Yeah, so I usually use either Perfumer's World or I'll use Perfumer's Apprentice for my stuff. How do you bottle these spray bottles up? You want to see? I'll show you. Here. This is my super messy desk. Sorry about that, guys. But here's the new way that I've been doing it. You can see the tip here. This is a Vevor like auto filling machine, and so it will count it. It'll trigger when it's a certain weight, and so I'll put the bottle on. And yeah, I mean, it's awesome. So that makes it a lot faster. Before, I was doing them all by hand. I was using these squeeze bottles, which I still have when I just want to do like one at a time. And you know, here's Womo, right? And that's kind of how I was doing it. Am I able to show you guys the front view? Oh, I am, no kidding. Yeah, so in here, I have all my full batches back here, right? And these are for when people make their orders. There's only 2 canisters right there, but these are my Alabaster Eau de Parfum Extremes. So I have all my crap right here. But yeah, this is how I've been doing it recently. And what's great is this is a peristaltic pump, which I had to look into, like what type of pump should I use? So nothing ever touches the actual tubing, right? So I can switch the tubing out between each fragrance so it doesn't, you know, like leach a different smell into it. But also the motor like never touches the actual, it like pushes around the tube. Like, you know, when you give blood and they can't, like, obviously they can't run blood through their, like, you know, their little their pump. So it's like that basically. Pretty cool. So yeah, so that's how I do that. Here, let me put you back. Okay, so now we've made the accord. We made that freshwater accord, and it should be good to go. Look at that bad boy. So now we can just start making the huge batch, which will be in this giant 1,000 milliliter size container. And this is the size I use. Lubna Ahmed says hi. Hey, how's it going? How's it going, boss? Moise Raza says hi. Hey, how's it going? The first time making perfume out of 100 tries, only one was good. Hey, you and me both, brother. That's life, right? It is what it is, huh? Even every time I release one of these fragrances, I've only released 4, and this will be the 5th. It's like, this is iteration like 16 or 17 of the same one that I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And you just got to perfect it. So, I'm the same, dude. Claudia, hello. Hey, how's it going, Claudia? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so you're new here. So, welcome. We're making a huge batch of this fragrance called Lush. And it's going to be like pineapple-y and this fresh water in it, a little bit of musk in there, and some general woods. There's going to be some coconut notes in there, so I'm using aldehyde C18 coconut, gamma octolactone, a couple of different lactones that are going to make it smell like coconut as well. So it's a really nice, like, tropical fragrance. It was originally a gift for my little brother, but he gets so many compliments on it. Granted, he's a good-looking dude, but he gets so many compliments on it, and I was like, okay, I gotta release this. So yeah, so that's the one that we're working on right now. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Okay, so let's just jump into it, guys. Okay. So here's the sized up recipe. I don't think you can see my computer screen here, but I have 2 screens. Let me, and I pulled it up on my big screen. I finally got my girlfriend to get a second screen. She works from home. And I was like, babe, you gotta get a second screen. It's so nice, isn't it? Does anybody else have like a second monitor? Oh my God, big difference. Okay, so we'll start off the recipe. First ingredient, and actually I like to put them in order of what I'm using the most. Surprisingly, what I'm using the most is gonna be methyl laetone. So the coconut, it's a coconut. It smells like coconut water, that kind of a thing, like a nice coconut. So that's actually number 1, even though it is at 10%. This is going to be 6,720 milligrams. So we'll put it on our big scale here, right? We'll turn it on and tear it out. And for these big ones, these big batches, I don't think most of you guys will need to unless you're trying to sell them. But I also got 5 milliliter pipettes. And you can see the difference. I mean, look at that, right? You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about here. This is a 5 milliliter. So yeah, so I use these when I'm doing, like, if it's at least 5 grams. I'm not gonna waste my time going. I'll get these big ones. So yeah, so we'll tear it out. Boom. We'll switch over to grams. Boom. Okay. So now, yeah, let's pop this in. We're gonna put in 6,720 milligrams. And again, we just fill it up and we'll go dropwise. Let's see what we got here. So that was 4 grams. So that's pretty good. 6.72. 6.72, we're at. Boom, almost there. Patience is a virtue with this, though. You don't want to go over. You can't ever take it out, you know what I mean? Like, you can add more, but I don't want to screw this up. What are you guys up to today? Anything good? You're going to watch there's a football game later? I'm not a big football guy. But lately, my girlfriend and I have been, like, trying to get into it. We're like, okay, well, then we'll know what people are talking about, because I don't really watch football a whole lot. I'm not a big sports watcher. This is my first time watching live. Yeah, this is my first live, so I've never done a live before. Yeah, it's fun. It's exciting. I didn't know people were actually going to show up. We got 17 people here, so that's cool. Have you ever done any tinctures, says Jewel Raj. I wanted to try a toasted cardamom or a black cardamom. Dude, that sounds so good. I haven't done a toasted cardamom. I did a toasted coconut, believe it or not, and it actually worked. The way that I did it, so for those of you guys who are just watching and you don't know about the tinctures, what Jewel is talking about is it's like you take some sort of an ingredient and you leave it in alcohol for long enough that the smell gets into the alcohol, and then you have like a tincture of this or a tincture of that. So you can grind up a spice, right? Like an anise or something, star anise. I've done a star anise one. I did a toasted coconut one where I toasted it in the oven and I ground the heck out of it in one of those meal processors. I haven't done cardamom though. I've done some of them, they end up being weird. So you got to time the tinctures right because apparently oh, thanks. Thank you, Timbo. Oh, that's awesome. No way. People send money. That's crazy. Thank you, Timbo Slice. That's awesome. Is that a joke off of Kimbo Slice? Wasn't that guy who would do the like street fights and stuff back in the day? Anyway, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, so sometimes apparently, and I was reading this book a long time ago on tincturing. It's like if you leave it too long, then you start to leach some of the nasty smelling ingredients or the ones that you don't want. But if you don't leave it long enough, then you won't get the ones you want. So it's like you leave it and you shake it up every once in a while in this alcohol, and then you get some of the essence of it, like maybe coffee grounds. You could do coffee grounds or something. So I haven't done cardamom. Let me know how that turns out. That would be sweet. But I've done a bunch of tinctures, yeah. My older brother, he just picked this up and gave it to me for my birthday a long time ago. Some Piper Longum. It's like an Asian. He went to an Asian specialty store and got these little. It looks like it's like an Asian long pepper or something. So I ground it up and I put it in this alcohol for a while, and then I strained it out, and here's the tincture. Piper Longum, 16%. So by weight, 16% Piper Longum, and then I drained it out, and here's the nice golden fluid, and it smells pretty good. Yeah, it's like a weird resinous, kind of slightly spicy, but not that spicy, and it's really sweet, and I do like it. So, yeah, let me know how that goes. Okay, let's get back to it. So we added that. Okay, now we need to add ISO-E Super, so I'm just gonna tear it out, and then at the end, I'll add it all together. So here we go. Teared it out. Yeah, ISO-E is 6,300 milligrams. So let's do this, guys. ISO-E Super. And again, like we were talking about earlier, ISO-E Super is such an important ingredient, right? It's this cedar note, but it's one of those boosting and blending molecules that are just, it's loved by perfumers everywhere, and almost all the fragrances that you smell when you go to a store, they're going to have ISO-E Super in them. A good amount, probably at least 20%. So 6,300 milligrams. Raheem says, I'm going to start selling oud soon. Any tips? Ooh, kind of terrified. Hey, just go for it. Honestly, good luck. Best of luck, Raheem. Seriously, that's so awesome to hear. Just go for it. You're gonna sell it online, or how are you gonna do it? That's so sick. All right. There we go. Like, you're gonna buy in bulk and then maybe parcel it out, kind of like what Perfumer's Apprentice does, so you can find some good suppliers maybe or something like that? Or are you one of the guys that like has access to this oud resin? That's sweet either way. So I always encourage people to start their own businesses, like follow your dreams, just go for it. And like worst comes to worst, a couple months later you're like, it didn't really pan out, I'm gonna try something different. No idea, but my father has an oud farm. No way, that's so sick. That's so cool. So for those of you guys who don't know about, Raheem, you can tell us if you want. But yeah, it's a bunch of these trees, From the the agar wood is collected from the aloe wood tree, right? Tell me if I'm getting this wrong, but they inoculate these trees with this fungus or some sort of a virus or something that makes it create a defense mechanism. It creates this like oleoresin, this resin sap that has this like dark texture to it, and then they cut it all out, and then they cut out the good parts, which are the bits of wood that has this black agar in it, and then they create an essential oil out of that that's called the oud, right? That's so cool. Where there's a demand for it, and the fragrance industry is huge, so I applaud you for that. Do what you follow your dream. That's sweet. Yeah, tell me if I've got that wrong though, Raheem. Okay, so let's continue here. Okay, ISO E, what the heck did I just do? Oh, hedione, yeah. So we'll tear it out, we'll add hedione. This is a synthetic jasmine note. It's really, it's really light. It's basically a blending and boosting molecule. So here, let's add this. This is in huge amounts in a lot of women's fragrances, men's fragrances, everybody's, It's like Terre de Hermes, that's more than 50% ISOE super. And then, some of the feminine fragrances are going to be like 50+% hedione. So, or some of the aquatic men's fragrances, because it's super light, it just like lets everything come out. Okay, perfect. So we added our hedione there. Boom. I'm scared to wear oud. LOL. Jewel says agarwood tree. Yep, they infect the tree, and the resin is what the tree creates to fight the infection, basically. Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's fascinating. It's crazy. Okay. Well, I'm glad I got that right. Claudia, yeah, you can always give it a try and see what you think. I think there's some kind of tamer oud fragrances out there. Guys, tell us, let Claudia know if there's any oud fragrances out there that are like pretty tame. Where they're not like super offensive or not real fecal oud ones. Yeah, like LV. Yeah. Some of the barnyard. Yeah. Some of those ones, it's like, okay, if they go true oud, then you got to be a little bit scared away. What do I have? There's got to be some good oud ones. Oh, here's a good cheapie that, it's not real oud, but Oud Vanille or Oud Touch. Actually, probably Oud Touch is better. Frank Olivier Oud Touch. And it's just a nice oud kind of rose sort of combo. And yeah, Oud for Glory is another good one. It's not too crazy. Yeah, Oud for Glory or like a clone of that, Oud for Greatness or whatever. But that's kind of expensive, huh? Yeah, so maybe a clone of that. But yeah. Scary how much money could roll in. Naturally, wow. Seriously, yeah, just do it. If you could find suppliers that like people that want to buy over and over, that would be sweet. Oh yeah, LV Kuros. Yeah. Yeah, Ombre Nomad. Yeah, there you go. Ombre Nomad is a great fragrance. It's not too, I feel like it's pretty westernized, so it's nothing too crazy. Okay, so we'll tear it out here. But maybe give a tame one a try first and see if you like it. And if it's like not for you, no problem. I get that. Okay, benzyl salicylate. So we'll add our benzyl salicylate here. The salicylates are always pretty transparent. And they're florals, but again, there's not a whole lot to them. If you ever smelled like generic sunscreens, they have those salicylates in them. They give it that kind of sunscreeny smell. So like almost like not a neroli, but that kind of a thing. Okay, so where was I? Benzyl salicylate 5180. Okay, so we'll add 5 grams. It's a good amount. I used to use these dropper things, but a lot of them, they end up leaking. And so now I'm kind of a piece of shit, and I just I use the dropper or the throwaway ones, these 1 milliliter pipettes. I feel bad, but at the same time, like it was leaking all over the place, so I used regular caps and just, I don't know, 5180. Okay, there we go. Boom, right on the money. Okay. Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, check it out. See what you think of some of those, in the store. See if there's any like real tame ones. No, that one's not available in America. Yeah, Lattafa makes a clone, Oud for Glory. Yeah, Lattafa makes Oud for Glory, which is like Oud for Greatness, but obviously it's like $20 instead. That's another good clone. If you end up liking Oud for Greatness, and you're like, damn, I don't want to pay $300. That's a pretty close clone, so that's a good one. Ombre Nomad, yeah. Okay, so next we're gonna add, let's see, oh, C18 coconut. So aldehyde C18 coconut, I don't think that's a real aldehyde. Sometimes they'll call it that, even though it's not actually an aldehyde. There's some lore behind that. Okay, C18 coconut 4410. I know with aldehyde peach, here, hold on, give me one sec. 4410. With aldehyde peach, the people who created it originally, they called it aldehyde peach to throw off anyone else that wanted to copy this new ingredient that they had created, this new fragrance ingredient, because they knew if they had gone and gotten a whatchamacallit for it, a patent for it, then the jig's up and everybody knows how to make it once the patent runs out, you know. So a lot of the time they'll just keep these captive secret ingredients, you know, they call them captives. That's kind of weird, yeah. But soon enough people figured out it wasn't an aldehyde at all. What is the Irish Spring soap perfume? Oh, that's a great question. It's right here. It's called Sung Om. If you like Irish Spring soap, Alfred Sung makes Sung Om from back in the 90s or 80s or something. It smells exactly like Irish Spring, which I like. I like the Irish Spring. I don't know. I used to be a swimmer back in high school, and we had this guy. What was his name? Anyway, we called him Red because he had red hair, and he would share his soap with us afterward, which sounds weird, but it was just we're all rinsing off after, and he had this Irish Spring soap, and it smelled real good. So yeah, so it just reminds me of the swimming days. Yeah, Sung Om. Yep, exactly. Yeah, Sung Om is the one. Okay. So freshwater accord. Here we go. Here, this is the one we were making. We were preparing, guys. So 3850. Okay. So 3,850 milligrams here. 3.85. Boom. Boom. Okay. What? Just a little more. Boom. Okay. Cool. So we got that in. Smells too strong, especially the aldehyde. Yeah, it's very soapy. I mean, yeah, again, it's very aldehydic. Yeah, it's very strong for sure. Sung Om, that's probably what you're talking about, huh? Because yeah, it's very aldehydic. It's crazy, you know, when I smell Chanel number 5, I can't stand it because all I smell is these aldehydes where it's just like so soapy. You know, it's like, holy moly. Do you get headaches when working? I used to. Now, as long as I'm not using them like straight like this, or as long as I'm pretty quick or I open the window, then I'm okay. Or if I'm using, yeah, some ingredients will give me a headache if I'm not careful. So I gotta be careful using things like Hex 3 Cis, the grass one, the green grass one, that gives me a headache if I'm not careful. So, you know, and back in the day, I just used whatever amounts I wanted. And so I would give myself headaches all the time. I was like, dude, this is poisonous. I was like, oh my God. But nah, it's fine now. I don't have issues with any of my fragrances now, but yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so we added, oh, now we need Helionol. Helionol is funny, you know, it's like, it's sort of there, it's sort of a filler ingredient, but it also provides lift and substancivity is what they say on the website. But yeah, it gives a little bit of a lift to the recipe, so I do use it sometimes, a little bit of Helionol. It doesn't have a ton of smell on its own. 3570 here. Oh, gotta slow down. Hold on. Okay. Boom. Oh, I put in one drop too many. Ah! Do you own any perfumes by Byredo? You know what? I don't know why. I love their bottles. I like the little rounded top bottles. I'm not a big Byredo guy. I'm just not a fan. I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with me, but I personally, I don't own any. Here's a little bit of my collection we were showing you. Byredo La Tulip. It's very feminine. Yeah, I don't own any Byredo ones right now, Alwyn. That's a good question. Why, are there any I should be checking out? What if I macerate? Does it smell better in time? Yeah, I mean, over time, it's so funny with the whole maceration thing. What I always tell people, and this is, I mean, I read this in a perfumery book a long time ago, so I think it's accurate. Peak maceration, as far as the graph of how much it's changing, peak maceration is only like 72 hours. So most of the time, people are like, "Oh my God, leave it for 6 months." I mean, sometimes there's ongoing reactions, but most of the time, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And then slowly over time, yeah, like things like vanillin will yellow your liquid and stuff like that, so it'll look different. But for the most part, yeah, like most of the maceration has already happened by the time it touches your hands. As far as like production stuff, a little bit of changes. So maybe people are talking about these little changes, but there's some pretty drastic changes that will occur in the beginning. So just one of those things. There's an exception though. There is an exception here. We'll keep going, but I'll tell you about the exception as far as the maceration thing. Okay, hold on. Helianol, gamma octolactone. So another coconut. When you hear lactone, right? Think kind of milky. The octolactones, decolactone, delta decolactone, all of those are going to be like kind of coconut notes. Sort of milky, watery, coconutty. Okay, and we're going to add 3150. Okay, 3150. So the exception to the thing that the one that I do hear about occurring kind of more long term and kind of slower is if you accidentally create a Schiff base. And a Schiff base is when you react an aldehyde with, I think it's with an amine, I forget. But basically, as long as you add your aldehydes and then you give it a smell. Wait, how much was I adding? Wait, I'm getting lost here. I'm trying to do two things at once. 3150. Okay. Boom. Okay. Yeah, if you accidentally create a Schiff base, so you can look into that, but it's honestly, it's not usually a problem. But there is a famous example of a fragrance that ends up smelling like root beer. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one, where it's like over time it ends up smelling like root beer, which is kind of funny. I want to blind buy a perfume for winter under $100. What I would recommend, there's some really good winter ones. Who said that? Shirin Khan. I would really recommend, and this is so funny because this is kind of a basic fragrance, By the Fireplace. I actually really recommend this. By the Fireplace by Mesa Margiela. They sell them in refillable containers. Sometimes you can even pick up a small bottle with a refill thing at like TJ Maxx or like Marshalls, and it'll be like $50, $60, something like that. Pretty cheap. Yeah, I tell people, hey, it's a good fragrance. That and Jazz Club. Jazz Club, it's a good fragrance. Even though it's in every store in America, so it's not like niche or anything, but that's a good one. Yeah, I would say that, right off the bat, that's a really good one, just that comes to mind. If anyone else has recommendations, then yeah, throw them in there. Throw them in there. Yeah. Take care, Raheem. Yeah, great to see you. Thanks for joining us. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we just added that gamma octolactone. Oh, now we're gonna do Oralva. This is at 50% because Oralva is usually really sticky. Look how lightning yellow that is. That's real, that's not fake. I didn't add dye or anything to that. That's just what Oralva looks like. And Oralva has a neroli sort of note to it, like an orange flower note to it. So it smells quite strongly of like an orange blossom. Oralva is interesting because there's another ingredient called methylanthranilate, and this is this whole Schiff base thing we were talking about, guys. If you let methylanthranilate react with another ingredient and leave it for long enough, it will turn into Oralva. So I just use Oralva. I don't mess around with any of those chemical reactions that'll slowly change the smell of my fragrance over time. I'm not trying to do that. So I just use the final product basically. So I only use Aralva. I don't really use methylphenolate, and then I don't have to think about it. You know what I mean? So I try and keep it simple here. So if anyone just joined, welcome, welcome. So we're going to be adding this Aralva that gives it, again, it gives it kind of this almost like a neroli type of a orange blossom note to it that gives it that sort of at the beach, sunscreeny, at the beach vibe, which I really like. So yeah, let's add some of this. This is going to be 3,080 milligrams here. So 3.08. And immediately Lush, so far, this Lush fragrance has its signature color that you guys are going to see if you ever pick up a bottle. Yeah, pretty fun here. Okay. So we add that in. So far, so good. We're getting through some of the big boy ingredients. Let's see. Okay, so now we have the most important ingredient for this fragrance, and this is called methyl acetophenone para. This has a almond blossom, hawthorn, mimosa note to it, or smell to it, odor to it. On its own, it's kind of almondy. It's very almondy and a mixture between almond and like a hawthorn blossom. It's really, really good. Wow, and it's not benzaldehyde. Usually when you think almond, okay, benzaldehyde, right? That's the key almond ingredient. But this is different. This is a little more floral, a little bit lighter, a little bit more uplifting, but it is very powerful. So we're going to be using this, and this is what gives our fragrance here. Just dropping by. Hey, Derek, I've seen you before. Haha, I know that name. Hey, how's it going? Dropping in to say hi. Keep up the hard work, Sebastian. I plan on ordering your sample pack soon. Yeah, there we go. Hey, soon, if you give it a little bit of time, I'm gonna be adding this fragrance to the sample kit. It's obviously going to be the same price, but then you'll have a fifth one that you can smell and see if you like. So you might even want to hold off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, great to see you in the live here, Derek. Yeah, thank you. So this one, Lush, is going to be added to the sample pack that he was talking about. My brand does this sample pack thing where it's like, okay, well, you order a sample pack and it's, after discount for you guys for subscribers, it's like $70, $67 or something like that. And then you get 5 samples and you get to smell all 5, pick your favorite one, and then you get a full-size bottle of it. With purchase, right? So you just say which one you like the most, and then I ship it out to you. So yeah, that way you get to smell them all and pick your favorite. So yeah, soon this is going to be in there. Do you do the dupe of Clinique Happy? Says Ishmael. No, you know what? I know the one you're talking about. Clinique Happy with the orange. Maybe it's like an orange cap. Maybe I've seen that fragrance before. Do you know the dupe of Clinique Happy? No, I don't know any dupes of it. Let me see. Let's do some digging real quick before I add this next ingredient. I'll tell you right now if I can find something. Because usually if you go on Fragrantica, you might be able to find. We talking Clinique Happy for men or Clinique Happy for women? Which one are we talking about, Ishmael? This is that citrusy, yeah, 4.14. Nice, scores pretty well, $19.99. Okay, so old school. Yeah, citrusy fragrance. Okay, smells like. See, there's not a whole lot that immediately I'm like, okay, well, this is obviously Mandarina Duck Man. Nah, but that's has just as many upvotes as downvotes. Let's look into this one. Full Speed Avon. Again, I haven't smelled it myself, so I never give recommendations if I haven't smelled it myself, but apparently Full Speed by Avon, maybe that'll do it. Hard to say, But that's one of those fragrances where some of those, if they're not super mainstream, you might not find a dupe for it. You might want to just get Clinique Happy. Was it discontinued or something? What happened there? Sorry I wasn't of more help to you. 29.40. Okay, so 2.94. Boom. 2.94. Okay, almost there. Add a little bit more. Got to be careful not to put too much, right? This is powerful stuff. Boom. Okay, 2.94. Yeah, Clinique Happy. I swear, I always see the women's Clinique Happy at like Ross or at some of those kind of like discount stores. You know what I mean? Hoping they're more projecting. Yeah, I I'll have to keep my eye out for Clinique Happy for Men. I actually haven't ever picked that one up. I always see the women's one though. I do see that one a lot. Okay. Ferrone. Okay, next is Ferrone. Ferrone is interesting. So Ferrone is what I use for part of the pineapple accord that's in this, because right, it's going to be like almondy, hawthorn, pineapple, and so Ferrone at 10%. It's generally apple-y and pineapple-y, but it's hard to say. You wouldn't just say immediately, oh, this is pineapple, you know? But it helps to create the illusion of pineapple. Very interesting. When I first started diving into making a pineapple accord, it's funny that to make a realistic pineapple, you need regular apple in there too. And then you need some citrusiness, right? Some sharp citral kind of ingredients to make it sort of, you know how like pineapple has that little bit of a bite, that acidity to it, right? So it's like you got to think of all the aspects of it, you know? And then just that general fruitiness. Okay, so for 22.60, geez, that's a good amount. Oh yeah, that's gonna be all of it. That's gonna be more. Here, hold on, I have another container of it. I can toss that little mini. Nice, got another big container. This is a product by Givaudan. All right, here we go. Givaudan. Let me know in the comments, should I be doing these more? I've never done a live before. This is kind of fun. I don't know, it never happened, but anytime I'm making fragrances, I guess, and then I can tell you guys what I'm doing, and, you know, maybe you'll just be entertained or learn something or whatever, you know? Okay, 22.60, hold on. Boom. All right. We got our Ferrone in there. It always reminds me of Pharaoh. Okay, next, Bergamot Jivko. Is it impossible to extract pineapple oils, mango, or is it just not practical to do on a mass scale? That's such a good question. I don't think that it's possible, but I'm not certain. For the most part, like it's, since there's just not enough, like you'd have to dry it maybe. I don't know how you would get an essential oil from that though, you know, or a CO2 extract. Ginger, at least that's hard enough plant fiber, you know, that you can do a ginger CO2 extract. But the pineapple, it's just so much juice, you know. Yeah, Odyssey Limon for me, Clinique Happy, better citrus smell. I'm gonna say that it's just not plausible. It's just not possible to extract the pineapple oils. It wouldn't make sense. Yeah, and same with the mango, right? Mango, instead you're gonna use peach and orange and put them together kind of and create like a mango accord. And there's a couple other ingredients that make mango unique. So mango is kind of hard, but yeah, I don't think you can do it. I don't think you can do it. It's like a banana, right? You can't make an essential oil out of a banana. You just mash the hell out of it. You know what I mean? That's a good question though, because there are some things that aren't a lot of plant fibers that you can do it to. Let me think. Not florals. I mean, florals you can do florals, but I'm trying to think of like a fruit. I swear there was one that they could do. Anyway, that's a really good question. So bergamot, yeah, bergamot's a fruit. There we go. That's interesting. Yeah, they can do bergamot. They can do a lot of the citruses, but I think that's because they express the essential oils out of the rinds of them. They're not using the juice of it. And there's no real rind of the pineapple. I think that's why. I don't quote me on it, don't quote me, but I think that's why the citruses you can do, you know. So I use bergamot Jivco instead of regular bergamot. I highly, highly, highly recommend everybody does that, even if you're not going to be selling this. I'm not trying to have people get allergic reactions, which bergamot essential oil used to be the biggest source of allergic reactions because it has this like one ingredient in it. And it just makes people get like a little rash or just skin irritant. And so this is the same exact thing made by Givaudan, except it doesn't have that one ingredient in it. So other than that, it smells like it's exactly the same, but it's just not going to get people mad at you for having skin sensitivity. That's a really good question. I'm going to look that up in about the pineapple thing, or let me know if you look it up, you know. Okay, 2100. So we'll go 2100 here. Bergamot essential oil actually used to be one of those main blenders that they would use. They would just use bergamot oil to blend everything because it is a pretty good blender. Now that we have Hedione and ISO Super and all that other stuff, we don't have to use it for that, but it was a good blender. 2100. Sometimes the old ways are pretty good, so I do use bergamot essential oil, but also because I need some of that citrusy sharpness that creates the illusion of the pineapple, right? You can't have a pineapple that's just sweetness, right? There's a little bit of like sour to the pineapple. So that's why I'm using, you know, bergamot in there. It's my source of citral. Okay, so next we have, yeah, habanolide. Habanolide is a nice clean musk. In a lot of modern men's fragrances, you're gonna have habanolide. So yeah, let me make sure my battery is good. Yeah, we got 27% battery. Cool. You guys want to see what it looks like so far? Here, I'll show you. Get closer. Hold on. Is bergamot essential oil Calabria, Italy, the same? It says BF, which is bergaptan. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So you're bergaptan free, then that's totally fine. Yeah, no problem. I don't know where they source the stuff that the bergamot Jivco is made from, but if it's from the Calabria, Italy, that's sick. I like to go exotic with my, you know, like if you can get Italian. I have lemon sfumatrice, which is from Italy, somewhere in Italy. I think it smells better. I don't know if that's just woo woo, but yeah, that should be fine. Yeah. That's the ingredient I was talking about. Yeah, you should be good, Goosewayne. Let's see. So here's what it looks like so far. Wow, is my camera quality just bad, or I don't know, maybe because I'm doing live. Here's what it looks like so far. You can see all the oils are like mixing together and sloshing together in kind of a weird way here. But there's that. Here's the container it's going to go into after. Oh, there you go. Now you can see my thing. And then this is my magnetic stirrer that I'm going to use to stir it. Oh, this is my old fake ID from back in the day. I framed it when I turned 21 back in the day. Anyway, but yeah, I'm going to turn that on and mix it at the end. And I'll use a magnetic stirring bar, of course. So, yeah, just one of those things. Okay. Boom. So I'll put you guys back up. Okay. So yeah, so we got to do habanolide. It's a really nice musk. And so, you know what people say about habanolide is that it smells like freshly ironed clothes, like hot off the press. And it's true. It has that like that muskiness, but like in a way that it smells like it's just freshly ironed. I like it. I really like it. I think it's a cool ingredient. So I tend to go toward this or galaxolide for my musks. Okay. Habanolide, yeah. So we'll go 1680. So 1,680 milligrams here. Boom. Okay. Okay, there we go. And that's our habanolide. It's a Firmenich product. Okay. Boom. Okay, next we're going to be using, oh, Cologne, yeah, literally cologne that was in my freshwater Accord. So we're gonna use a little bit more of that cologne. It's got that melon smell, right? Originally used for food, right? We heard the whole deal. Cologne was invented back in, oh, it used to say on here, it was like 1950 or something. It's been around for a long time. 19, yeah, I don't even know. I think it's been around since the 50s. So, okay, cologne at 10%. We're going to be using 1610. So we'll measure this bad boy out. Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh, there was a little bit, just a hair too much, but that's okay. That's okay. My bad, that was one drop too much. But what's nice is when you're making it at the scale, if you do one extra drop, you're not gonna smell, you'll smell a little bit of difference between batches, but I mean, actually, no, you probably wouldn't. You wouldn't even be able to tell between batches. So, no problem. Okay, let's see. So now we'll tear it out. Okay, paradismide. Yeah, this is the fun ingredient that we're using. Do you like muscone lavo? You know what? I own some, and I own, what's the other musk? I have a bunch of musks. I have never used muscone, the L muscone, in any of my fragrances. I haven't been able to play around with it yet. And the other one that I haven't really played around with a ton is what's that old school musk? Musk ketone. Yeah, musk ketone. I haven't used that one a whole lot. Honestly, I use stuff like celestalide. Sometimes I use celestalide. Again, the habanolide and the galaxolide I use a whole lot. And then sometimes I'll use some of the other ones, but yeah. What else? What are my other musks down here that I use? I just got a bunch of other small containers of different musks to mess with, but some of them, they just don't have the strength that I like in my musks. So I just don't mess with them a whole lot, personally. Is it a good one? How do you like to use your El Musk one? See what he says. Okay. Paradismide. Okay, 1400. So this is gonna be that. Oh yeah, passion fruit, guava type note. Paradismide. Truly, it lives up to the name, paradise. So again, we're going for this kind of tropical vibe here, you guys. This is gonna be a good one. Oh, I might need a little more than this. Hold on. Oh, no. Wait, almost. Yeah, 1400. Boom. Okay. All right. Okay, so that looked good. Next, we're going to be using fructolate. Okay, so this is a kind of like a general fruity note, like a general fruity ingredient. Yeah, fructolate is good. Fructone and fructolate are both kind of just like general, like they just generally make it a little fruitier, in my opinion. So maybe they have a little bit of a strawberry nuance to them, but like for the most part, I feel like this just helps me make it a fruit. You know what I mean? Instead of like sort of a pineapple-y thing, this is like a pineapple fruit. Oh, it's juicy. Oh, now it's a little juicier. You know what I mean? So yeah, on its own, sure, maybe there's some strawberry nuance to it, or some apple nuance to it, but it's just a general fruit. It's like a floralizer, but for fruitalizer. Okay, 1330 of this. Whoa, boom, there we go. Okay. Hello to anyone who just joined. How's it going, guys? Yeah, we're doing a live demo of making a fragrance here. So live perfumery demo. We're pretty far through. I mean, yeah, we've got maybe 10 more ingredients, and then we'll mix it up and kind of see how it ends up looking. But yeah, not too bad. I've been live for an hour and a half now. That's crazy. It's my first live here. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Yeah, rum ether was another ingredient that I was like, am I gonna keep this in the final thing or not? And you don't really smell it a whole lot in the final, you know, like in the final product. I don't think it's worth keeping the rum ether, so I'm probably not going to keep the rum ether. Originally, the idea was, oh, if I can make this rum ether strong enough, then I'll have like a rum and pineapple coconut, you know, like a pina colada type of thing, and it just didn't end up pushing that direction. So we're not going to add rum ether into that one. So instead, we will go straight into the nonadienol. So nonadienol at 1% is a very interesting ingredient. I think you guys will be kind of interested in. This one smells like fresh cucumbers. Like literally like a green cucumber, like you just peeled a cucumber or you just chopped open a cucumber. It's so watery with that hint of greenness to it. Excellent, excellent fragrance ingredient. Quite powerful even at 1%. So we're going to be using 1330 of it in the final thing, and it just adds that like freshness. It's just going to create this whole thing. I really want this to be a fresh fragrance for you guys, you know, lush. It's supposed to be lush. So this cucumber type note, hold on. I'll just have to remember I added 200 extra. Yeah, this cucumber note in there, it's going to just bring a certain freshness to it, you know? Okay. I'm trying to do a bunch of things at once. 4 o'clock. It's around like 5:20, I think, is when there's a football game, and I don't usually watch football, but I'm having some buddies over, some of my undergrad college buddies. And actually one of my high school buddies is going to be coming over, so yeah, it should be fun. But that's at like 5:20, so maybe they'll be over soon actually. Okay, I'll probably, well, I do have to finish this, so maybe I'll finish this real quick and then it'll be a done deal maybe. I don't know, let me know in the comments if you guys want to see me just skip towards to just mixing it and see how I mix it, and then I'll add in the rest of the stuff later maybe. Let me see, how many ingredients do I have? 1, 2, I need to add, I only need to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more. Oh, that's not bad, okay. So I'll probably just speed run it and add them all in, and then I'll end the live. Okay, so gamma-decolactone. Okay, tear this shit out. Gamma-decolactone, 1330. Okay, same thing, 1.33. Boom. Easy peasy. Okay. Allyl caproate. This is the pineapple ingredient that I'm going to be using, the main pineapple ingredient, allyl caproate. There's a bunch of different pineapple type ingredients that you can use, but this is just the one that I leaned toward for this one. It's a very classical pineapple, kind of that scratchiness of the pineapple ingredient. 1190, 1.19. And this gives it that signature pineapple flair. Boom. Okay. Allyl caproate. Next, we're going to have Veramoss, 448 of the 100% Veramoss. Okay, so we're going to get out the powder, it sounds like, because otherwise we'd have to use a lot more. My Veramoss. Okay, cyclopentenolone. I'm gonna have to get my. Oh, I think I have it in one of these. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. So here's my Veramoss by IFF. Veramoss is one of the like 5 ingredients in Baccarat Rouge 540. So love pineapple scents and also eat it regularly now. So tasty and beneficial. Totally, seriously. Oh, if you like pineapple fragrances, if you haven't already heard of this one, you should totally check out. Where is it? I have one. It's by a clone brand. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Qaed Al Farsan, but not the white edition. Qaed Al Farsan by, who is this by? Is this by Latafa? Yeah, by Latafa. It's just straight up sweet pineapple. Sweet, juicy pineapple. This is going to have a little more complexity to it, but if you want a good, just musky, sweet pineapple, I would recommend Qaed Al Farsan. Yeah, that's one of those things. But anyway, we're going to use Veramos, which is a synthetic oak moss. Very long-lasting, very powerful ingredient used in Baccarat Rouge 540 and a ton of other fragrances, but that's the one you guys would recognize it immediately in, right? So 448 of it. .45. So we're going to scoop that in very carefully. We don't want to overdose this. All right. Boom. Okay. There we go. There's our Veramos, right? It's also known as Evernil. Same thing. Same thing. If you ever see Evernil, same exact, same exact ingredient. Yeah, I heard of the Latafa one. Similar one. Oh, 9 p.m. Rebel. I have 9 p.m. and I have 9 a.m. Dive. I haven't picked up Rebel. Is that the one that's like maybe it's a red bottle? Is it good? It is really nice too. Okay, I'll have to check that out. 9 p.m. Rebel, because dude, I've been in on this this 9 p.m. thing for a long time. I know they always reuse the names, but let me put that in so I don't forget. 9 p.m. Rebel. Okay, I'll check that out. Yeah, it's the red bottle. Yeah. Okay. And you're saying it's like a pineapple-y kind of one? Red bottle similar to the Latafa. Oh, okay. It's a similar vibe, huh? Oh, heck yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll keep my eyes open though. Okay, so we did the Veramos, right? Next, we're gonna do another. Oh, ethyl 2-methylbutyrate. So ethyl methyl 2-butyrate. I always say it the wrong way. This is like it's an apple note, very strong, very strong apple note. Usually I use this at 10%. Woo, holy moly. That is powerful. It's ethereal, right? That's the only way I can describe it. It's literally ethereal. It's like it's like this aura of apple and kind of pineapple-y, but like mostly apple. Damn. Okay, so we're gonna use at 100%. We're gonna use 266. Okay, so 0.27. Boom. That's it. Not a whole lot, but it's so powerful, guys. Where is everyone watching this live from? Oh, on holiday in Dublin. That's sick. How are you liking Dublin? Did you go to the Guinness factory? We went, my girlfriend and I went to the Guinness thing. We got the t-shirts and everything. You got to get a Guinness, bro. Yeah, where are you guys at? Okay. So next we do coumarin, which is a, anytime you see tonka bean in the notes, coumarin. Yeah, in Dublin right now. Dublin is so sick. We were only in Dublin for like 3 days on our last Europe trip. We were stopping through. Coumarin is 210, so 21 at 100%. Boom. That was easy. Okay. Yeah, anytime you see tonka bean, they're using coumarin. From Dhaka. Nice. Not yet gone to the Guinness one, but it's on the list tomorrow. Yeah, let's go. It's so cool, dude. I think you're really going to like it. Yeah, so sick. How long are y'all there for? All right. So here we go. So next, coumarin, allyl amyl glycolate, right? This is this AAG we were talking about, you guys. Strong stuff, but we're gonna use, how much of it? 203. Okay, all right, that's fine. That's not that bad. But yeah, it's real strong stuff. Aluminum glycolate. But it's used in kind of a lot of fragrances that even if they don't have a pineapple note to them, just because it's like, I don't know, a powerful fruity, it gives you a powerful fruity vibe to it. I don't know. 3 days. Yeah. Okay, we were the same. Yeah. In Bengali. Nice. Yeah, we were the same. We were just there for 3 days, my girlfriend and I. That's so sick though. Oh man, I'm jealous right now. That's a good time of year to go too, I bet, huh? Um, okay. When we went, it was pretty rainy. I mean, that's the vibe though. You know, like you go and it's okay that it's raining, you know? Like that's the fun of it. Ethyl maltol, right? Super sweet ingredient. Another one from Baccarat Rouge. It literally just smells like burnt sugar. Super powerful though. You can smell it from a mile away. Ethyl maltol. So we're going to use this at 100%. We're going to only use 161 milligrams here. We're almost done with this this recipe actually. So 1.6 here. Boom. That's it. That's the whole. That's the most of it. Boom. Okay, so that's that. And then we just have 3 more ingredients here. It rained so badly today. Dude, I know, yeah. It was the same when we were there. But hey, I mean, I feel like that's kind of that's the rainy Dublin, you know. I have ethyl maltol, very sweet ingredient. Yeah, quite addictive. Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. I love ethyl maltol. You can throw it in anything, you know. I try not to overdose it or anything, but hey, it's a cool ingredient. So next, ethyl isobutyrate, another one of those ones that just has this like, I don't know, man. It's got like an ethereal vibe to it. Very ethereal, fruity, general fruity. I don't even know what type of fruit this would be. Ethyl isobutyrate. Maybe it leans pineapple. It's hard to say. So we need just 12. Yeah, boom. That's it. That's all that we're using in the whole thing. It's like 6 drops. Okay, boom. Yeah, that was actually 6 drops. Okay, ethyl vanillin at 100%. We're just going to use 98. So it's going to be like 0.1 basically of ethyl vanillin. Either that or we can do the 10% stuff and do 980. Let's do that. Recipe. Ethyl vanillin, it's like vanillin, but it's a lot sweeter, you know what I mean? It's pretty powerful. 980. Boom. Okay, there we go. Yeah, ethyl vanillin is pretty powerful stuff, huh? You ever walk by one of those girls that's just like, they're going out for a night out or something, and you walk past them and you smell this vanilla. It's like, it's like a cloud of vanilla past them, and it smells really good, but it's like, holy moly. That's that ethyl vanillin, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take much, dude. But they leave like a scent trail behind them. Okay, aldehyde super 100% is 10.5. So 10% would be 100.5. And then 1% would be 1,000.5. Let's do the 1%, 1,000.5 here. And then I'll just have to calculate back. Boom. Okay. Yeah, see, that's better. And aldehyde supra is just kind of the icing on the cake. It adds a little bit of it's an airy vanilla. Yeah, right? It's just like, it creates like a little cloud, huh? I'm with you on that one. I like it though. I like that. I like a mixture of the vanillas, but this one is just a little bit of that ethyl vanillin in there. Just gives it a little something, little bit of something, so it's not too overwhelmingly pineapple sweet, you know, or pineapple citrusy, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, okay, almost there. So yeah, so we just put all the ingredients in, right? So here we are, and then what we'll do is we got to do just a quick calculation here. So bear with me here, because I'm gonna make this stuff at 20%, I believe. No, I think I'm doing, wait, what was the original recipe? Was that 18% eau de parfum? Yeah, so this is going to be an 18% eau de parfum. Okay. So we got to add up all the ingredient amounts here, and then we'll divide it out. We'll add as much alcohol as we need to make that calculation work. So let me get my handy dandy calculator out here. Calculator, boom. Almost there, you guys. This was a fruitful one. Okay. So methyl-laetone, but it was at 10%. So instead of 6,720, when we add it all together, it's actually just going to be 672 grams or milligrams of raw product, right? Because we're trying to get raw product all added up, and then divide by 0.2, and that's the weight that we need, that the final weight for this whole thing to be. And then we're going to subtract the weight of all of this crap and then see how much this weighs right now, because I tared it out, and then we need to add that amount of alcohol, if that makes sense. So it's kind of a lot of, yeah, it's a little bit of thinking there, but it's all good, man. We'll do it. We'll figure it out together. 6020 plus the hedione was, yeah, there we go. ISO E, boom. 5180, and then we're going to add in our coconut, 4410 plus 3850 plus 3570 of the helianol, then the gamma octolactone, 3150, the coconut note, right? Aralba at 50%, so this was actually not 3080, this was 1540. Boom, because we divide that by 2, right? Plus methyl acetophenone para, 2940, plus 10% ferrone, which would actually be 266. And then we're going to add the bergamot Jivco, plus 1680. You guys doing okay? Okay, we're almost there. Okay, 1680, yep, and then 1610 of the calone, but it was at 10%, so that's 161. Again, it's like we got to look at how much of the actual raw product this is and how much is other filler ingredients like DPG, shit like that, where it's like, oh, actually this isn't going to be in there. So the nonadienol, 1%, right? So that's actually going to be only 1.3 here. Sorry, it's going to be 13. Boom, plus 1330 plus 1190 plus 448 plus the ethyl methyl 2 butyrate, or the ethyl 2 methyl butyrate, coumarin, allyl amyl glycolate, almost there, 161 ethyl maltol, ethyl isobutyrate, and then the ethyl vanillin, and then the aldehyde supra, 10.5. Boom, so all of that is gonna weigh, yeah, this is the milligrams. Okay, so yeah. Okay. Hold on. God damn it. What type of fragrance are you blending? Can you use a spreadsheet for your formulas or an app called Formulaire? Yeah, I don't use Formulaire because by the time Sam Macer made it back in the day, it was only for iPhone. I don't know if he made it for Android. I do use a spreadsheet. It was one that BK Sense on YouTube actually made back in the day. The fragrance that I'm blending is called Lush. So it's called Lush. It's going to be like a pineapple-y, like a pineapple, hawthorn, almond, and guava fragrance. So it's going to be mostly for men, but it's going to be leaning unisex. So yeah, kind of a summer, spring fragrance, a little bit of sweetness to it. But yeah, really excited to make it. Hold on, I screwed this thing up. Damn. Okay, so we have to do. I accidentally typed it. I wasn't looking while I was typing. Okay. So I just did it without looking. And I didn't add a plus in between two of them, which was super dumb of me. Sorry guys, I know I'm being stupid right now. Hold on. Let me redo this. Plus 4410. Okay, plus 3850 plus 3570. It's like the pressure's on, you know, because I'm on live. I don't know. 1540, 2940. You know, it's like you don't want to mess anything up, I guess. But I don't think I've ever been camera shy. You know what I mean? Like even from the beginning of this channel, I would just put my camera up and just start saying shit. Which I think was good, you know, because otherwise if it was too scripted, like all my YouTube videos that you guys watch, I don't even think about what I'm going to say before, for better or for worse, I don't know, maybe that's dumb of me, but I just put the camera up and I'm just like, okay, here's what we're going to do, I'm just going to like talk to you guys, and then I just say it, and I don't really edit out much of anything, just pretty raw, but otherwise it's like, oh my god, dude, if I had to spend time making a script or like thinking about what I was gonna say instead of just speaking my mind, like, oh my god, that would take so long. No way, that would take forever. It's got to be fun, you know. I do this for fun. I'm not in it for any other reason. Okay, here we go. So now we divide by 1,000 to get our grams. 48.6178 grams. Here we go. Okay, so 48.6178 grams, and then the weight of all of this stuff combined, we have to subtract. Oh, we have to subtract all of that after we divide. So divide by 0.2, boom. The final weight should be 243 grams. What's the best clone for Royal Oud, Creed, and Centol 33? Centol 33, take your pick, because it relies heavily on Javanol, and once people figured that out, the formula is pretty simple. So like, there's tons of Centol 33 ones. Another Centol by Alt Fragrances. I'm sure Lattafa has one. Like, pick your poison, you know. HK Perfumes has one. So there's a lot of good, any solid brand will have a Santal 33 one. Royal Oud, I don't know though. Royal Oud. Alt is pretty good. Alt is pretty good. Don't get the, what am I looking for? Don't get the Versace Arrows. Don't get the Versace Arrows by Alt. Other than that, they're pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty decent. Yeah, I have no complaints with them, except for the Versace Eros one. That's the only one where I was like, dude, what the heck is going on there? So yeah, so final weight is going to weigh 243.089, and now we're going to add. Wait, is someone knocking on my door? Hold on. I think someone knocked on my door. Wait. Let me see. No way! Oh shit! Okay, hey, how's it going? What's up, dude? Hey, guys, I gotta end this live. I was fucking live streaming. I was like looking at the time, cause yeah. So this is one of my buddies from undergrad. He's coming. We're gonna watch a football game. But yeah, basically all that you gotta do is hold on. I'll finish this up with you guys. Sorry. Okay, so we weighed it out, right? The final weight is gonna weigh this much. It's gonna weigh this many grams. Then we're gonna add all these up with the actual weights of the things we used, even the 10%, right? So then we have the weight of this juice. We subtract that weight from this, and that's how much alcohol we have to add, right? And then I'm gonna add from this huge ass jug of my SB40 or whatever, Perfumer's alcohol. I'm gonna add that in here. I'm gonna throw it on here, and then I'll go woo, and then we'll mix it up. And then I'm gonna bottle it into these amber glass bottles. I recommend using amber glass bottles because they won't be as damaged by the ultraviolet light over time. It's not a big deal. if you really care about it and you don't have amber glass bottles, you can use something called BHT. It's a certain toluene crystal that can protect a little bit of your fragrance from, from ultraviolet light. Okay, I hope that was fun, you guys. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I'll probably do another one at some point. This was my first time doing it, so okay. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye, everyone.